Hey everybody, it's Dr. Karen, and in this video, I am going to talk about one of the hidden culprits behind procrastination with homework. So if you have a school-age child, you may be familiar with the daily fight of sitting down to do homework and walking them through all the different things that they have to do. And if you have a child that tends to try to avoid difficult schoolwork or any homework assignments at all, you might be familiar with this. So maybe you've tried things like positive reinforcement and giving them rewards for getting homework done on time. And maybe you've tried taking things away from them and doing some type of punishment if they don't do their homework. And maybe you've talked to them about the importance of why they need to do their schoolwork now and stay on top of things. And it's possible that you might have had the experience where your child it takes longer to get started with the assignments than the actual assignments take themselves. So, the assignment takes 20 minutes, but you're arguing back and forth for 30 minutes to an hour to actually get them to sit down. So if any of that sounds familiar, you are not alone. I can't tell you how many times when I was working in the school systems, I had parents share those frustrations with me with staying on top of schoolwork. And then once they get started, there's a lot of getting up and avoidance during that activity as well. So you're certainly not alone. And this can happen to kids, no matter how bright they are. They might be extremely capable of doing their work, but for whatever reason, they're having a hard time staying on top of things and they're letting things pile up, which now, obviously, with everything going on in the world, it is more important than ever to stay on top of things and be able to do work independently. So, first of all, you're not alone and it's not your fault. There isn't really a lot of information out there. I know there's an overemphasis on things like rewards and positive reinforcement. And it's not that those things are bad, but a lot of times those types of things don't get to the root cause of the issue. So, what is the root cause? Why do some kids procrastinate so much when it comes to homework or any task that might require sustained effort and multiple steps? Why does this happen? Don't they know that the sooner they get started, the sooner they're finished? Well, a lot of times this results from an issue with what's known as executive functioning skills. So executive functioning skills are the ability to look at a task and figure out how to get from point A to point B. So how to figure out the steps to take in order to meet a specific goal and to be able to monitor your behavior and your performance throughout the process and figure out how to make tweaks in what you're doing along the way. So there are actually 8 different executive functioning skills that enable you to engage in this productive, organized, goal-directive behavior effectively. And there was one in particular that can be a big culprit if you have a hard time getting your child started with a difficult task like a homework assignment. So let me back up and think about this, and have you think about this for a minute. Think about how you felt when you had to write an essay, for example, when you were in college, high school, or maybe even when you were in grade school. So it's kind of overwhelming. Looking at a blank page with nothing written can be super overwhelming. You can feel a lot of anxiety. You can feel that resistance to getting started. That is so normal. I write all the time, and I have completed lengthy essays. I've completed a doctoral dissertation, and I still experience that feeling of resistance whenever I do some kind of a writing task or some kind of an academic assignment. But the reason that I'm able to work through it is because I have a skill that is an executive functioning skill that's known as initiation. So initiation is the ability to figure out what the first step is in a process. Because when you can do that, it takes away that overwhelm. So yes, there might be a lot of steps, and this might be a task that requires you to have sustained effort over time. But what can reduce that overwhelm and anxiety and help you get started is to figure out, all right, what is the first step that I need to focus on right now? If your child doesn't have that ability and isn't able to figure out how to break the task down into steps and figure out what's first, then they can feel really scattered, and that can manifest in avoidance, procrastination, and they can often compensate by acting like they don't care or maybe being defiant and fighting you on it. But really, the hidden culprit is that they're not really sure where to start. So that is one key executive functioning skill that is often a culprit when you have kids who are procrastinating. A lot of times it's just the lack of clarity on what's next. That is so common whenever, and think about the times that you have procrastinated on something that was difficult. A lot of times it's because you're not exactly sure where to start. You know you need to be doing something. You know that you're wasting time and you're feeling anxious about it, but for whatever reason, it's kind of hard to get started. So obviously, there are other executive functioning skills that can impact your ability to initiate, but this is a key one that is often an issue when we have, again, people who are procrastinating and as a result underachieving and not working to their ability levels. I can't tell you how common this is, even in kids that are very bright and capable. So if your child struggles with this, it does not mean that they're not intelligent or capable. It doesn't necessarily mean that they don't care. It could mean that they just don't have this executive functioning skill. So I do have a free guide that walks you through all the different of the all the 8 executive functioning skills so that you can see how they all play off of each other and how that can impact your child's ability to complete these homework assignments and stay on top of them. So if you want to learn how you can really tease out which executive functioning skill your child might be struggling with, if you are having a hard time getting them to sit down and start tasks, and if they tend to avoid and procrastinate, it will help you to determine if they might have an issue with initiation or with any of the other executive functioning skills. So all you need to do to sign up for that free guide is click the link in the description, and you'll be able to sign up for that guide, and it'll walk you through all the different types of executive functioning skills. We'll explain a little bit more about what executive functions are and how it can impact your child's performance, attention, motivation, and ability to stay organized. So sign up for that guide. I hope you find it helpful. And if you found this video helpful, feel free to share it with your friends.